Do you want to drive, Nico?
Yeah, sure. So I can describe the situation. I'll start screen sharing. There's the one. Yes, correct. I'm always terrified to share the wrong one. Okay, so there we have this issue. And I thought, well, it's one test and the mock data. This is going to be easy, right? What can go wrong? Yes, what can go wrong?
Resize.
So this is the integration test. I thought maybe we shouldn't bring this, but then it seems that all the pieces are working. So with mount, we can actually replicate this in Jest. So I thought maybe we just bring it, and then there's going to be a nice day where all these integration tests live in another test suite that's more ad hoc for integration stuff. So this file here, it's heavily edited, but let's start from the original. So basically what it's doing, this is mounting the monitoring dashboard and try to resize and measure that the graph are not even resize, it's actually toggling the toggle and measuring that the graphs are behaving consistently. And I tried the karma test. I just modified here to describe it and a console log, and it works. This is the test rewritten in Jest and VTU. Actually, here it was using VTU, but it was using like create local view and then extending it and then manually mounting the component. I simplified all this logic.
Yep.
So maybe I just stop it here for a second so you can take a look at up until here, everything is fine. So basically I'm mounting because of the integration test, shallow mount doesn't make sense. Just stubbing chart tooltip because otherwise the bootstrap tooltip is going crazy. By the way, I don't know why our mock is not kicking in here because we have it mocked up here, but it's not kicking in. But that's maybe a second part to investigate. And then there is store view store creation, stubbing something that just doesn't have the virtual DOM implementation, mock adapter, mount the component. This is a utility function that is basically taking the store and slamming in the stuff that needs to do. The fun part is that needs to be done after the component is mounted, because otherwise the component on created will reset the store to its props.
Oh, that's disappointing. Okay.
Dashboard. So this is our component, and by the way, a small component, and it will do this, right? So instead of passing every props, in our case, I'm letting him initialize and then resetting the store. This is slow, but it's two tests. It's an integration test. I thought, okay, at least let's get it working and then we optimize it. Okay, and then since we are rewriting the store and expecting the component update, return wrapper VM next tick, so we are sure that the DOM is updated. Okay. The trouble starts here.
Let me ask you a quick question. I see that our file is called dashboard resize spec, but our subject is still the dashboard component.
Yeah.
There's not a dashboard resize component or something.
But then the describe inside is a response to Windows resize. I don't know. I left it as it was.
Okay, I'm just double checking that. Okay.
The dashboard spec is here. The proper dashboard spec is here. Proper. I didn't open it, but.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so what is the issue? The issue is that the Jest test initialized as the karma test doesn't print the same DOM. Not at all. They print completely different graphs.
Yep.
So, and as per discovering why, well, oh, sorry, I was working on some backend test. Let's, of course. And I'm completely fine if you people say, hey, look, this is an integration test, just leave it in karma and just drop it. But it's weird that once I finish setting up the test, the produced DOM is different. And it makes me suspect that the karma test is also fragile, or depending on something else. And so I just decided that it was worth to investigate a little bit. But I'm happy to hear otherwise and stop suffering on this file.
So what, you mentioned something about being concerned about the karma spec.
Yeah.
I mean, naturally integration tests are going to be a little bit, well, depends. But what do you mean? What, can you explain a little bit more what you meant by the karma test was a little fragile?
Well, I'm not sure if the karma test is fragile itself, but I don't see why the generated DOM is different when executed in an isolated environment, which is Jest, and then in a shared environment, which is the karma one, right?
Oh, it will be. Oh, it will for sure be different because karma. So Jest is probably the HTML that we should trust. Karma is gonna. They don't clean themselves up.
What is this?
I see what you're saying.
Wait a sec. I'll just move the console to log this. So this is the.
Okay.
Yes.
No, in karma, because tests don't clean themselves up, it's like a very common thing for we have some old tests there that have just left something in the HTML, or even we have like old watchers that are just watching for HTML that never get cleaned up or whatever.
Exactly. So that's why I'm concerned.
I see.
And if it's possible to rewrite it in Jest so that it's an isolated environment and it's testing what it needs to test, I will be more happy. Especially because this is it's like a very big component tree.
Yeah, we should have some confidence if we just run it in isolation like you are, and if it passes, like we should have some confidence that it's doing all right. Some things that could keep it. So just knowing that there's the context here of doing something with resizing. Some things that could keep it like it's just not going to work in a Jest environment is if we're doing some sort of like resize observer or like
no, but
observer.
But the funny thing is that so this is loading this dashboard, right? And I go a bit fast because that's it's a lot of markup and v4 and v to process. So basically, it's generating a panel, and every panel has a graph group, right? And then we go inside this graph group, and we basically toggle this. And so basically, it's acting on this v show. And I don't see why this should be different, right? And the fun part is that, so you see this, there is some log around here, but you see this is the graph that the karma test is going to pick up, right? Which is a very teeny tiny graph. And look at this selector here. So the selector goes position relative SVG. This is not the most precise selector in the universe, right? And awesome. and you know, there are icons in this component tree that are made of SVG and they have position relative. But this chart doesn't exist at all when I run the test with Jest. It generates a completely different chart. Want to see?
Yeah, let's do it. So even though it's called like dashboard resize, we're not like having to do, we're not reacting to resizing of elements or like, that's not what we're actually testing.
No, it says expanding chart panel group after resize display the chart. So this is, I think the resize is meant like clicking this toggle. That's what this test means.
Okay.
Yeah. So from panel, this is a good console log. Maybe let me do like this. No,
yeah, let's run the Jest test. That'd be cool to see what's going on.
Yeah, I'll just bring this in a sec. You can do like this and like this. A big monitor. Let's see them side to side. No,
sure.
Just a sec. I hate that in Karma it's so difficult just to. No, this is
You can pass.
fine.
You can run just a single file in Karma.
As an argument, but isn't the run all inside
And if you do
the
dash
yarn?
F, you do like yarn run karma dash F, then you'll run just a single file. Or dash F, whatever your path is. So it'll help with your log a little bit, but you don't have to do it right now.
Oh well. While this run, I can.
Sure.
So. Run karma double dash or just a dash
It's
F?
single dash. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so that teeny tiny SVG is not there, and it should be here. So this throw put here. Sorry, I can't pronounce that word.
Yep.
Here it says no data to display. This means that dashboard panel up here decided that for this specific chart, the data has no result. And so decided not to print that. But other graphs are printed down. Okay, so this is the SVG, and this SVG is absolutely not present here, but other graphs are. So this is a graph that is printed down there.
Okay.
So, and
Wait,
so I'm a bit at loss.
I see a position. I see there's position relative.
Yeah, all the graphs start with position relative. The integration test is using the fact that query selector pick up the first,
Right.
I guess.
Right. But we're saying that this one is not the same one.
No, it should be under throat put here.
Can we?
Do you want to specialize the selector?
Can we update our selector in Karma just to double check that we're doing the right thing? Can we update it?
Yeah, sure.
Throughput position relative SVG, right? Or not? There's Prometheus graph. That's what I was thinking. If we do,
yeah, they all are like this, right?
Maybe we can add a test ID in Karma. Just
yes,
that are.
Yeah, something, but we need to nail it down properly with the, let's add with the name of the graph maybe. So this is the container div, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the containing div. Let's try to close it. Jeez. Okay, yeah, it's this one, I guess. So if I do data test ID equal title, right? So this is going to pick up this title, so we can match them from the test.
Yeah.
So chart, now we can say we leave SVG and we do data test ID equal, I can't, sorry, I won't be able to pick up that word otherwise. Well, let's see.
So this is interesting when doing these migrations. Yeah, if we, okay, I think it's going to help us. I think it's going to help us if we kind of reshape what's the
Karma test
source of truth that we're trying to migrate. If we reshape that, I think it's going to enlighten what our Jest might be missing or should look at.
What if we look at this prom group here first for a second?
Sure.
That should be the container. That is the same thing that I'm printing on Jest. Funny that I updated the Karma test and.
Oh, maybe that's why it's failing. Is because we're doing the query selector on the group, which should have that test ID already.
So this is throat put, right?
Did we add the? Yes, it is.
ID. Do you see the test ID? Yes, somewhere.
I don't see the test ID there. Oh wait. Oh, there's the test ID. But this is helpful because maybe it looks like it was matching a different SVG for sure than what we thought it was. Throughput
Why
is,
don't you see the data study of this?
that
That's
is a
interesting.
really good question.
um,
You know,
well,
we're learning so much about our monitoring code base.
it's funny. It's the same on this side. We see
So
latency
it sounds like that throughput bit. So this is really interesting. We were looking for an SVG. We were thinking that it had to come from one of
throughput,
these, but throughput seems to be special. If we go back to our component, why is it special? Where does throughput actually come from?
So this is just like two loop inside the other, like and or by here. So we need to start to look at how the data is inside to look at that. So actually this is consistent because so there is this log that says that throughput is not part. I modified a little bit the search on the Mountain just to log stuff because I was going nuts. So it says that throughput has no data, and that's correct. But latency should have, and so latency should have a chart inside. And there you go.
Yep.
I
Do
guess.
we have one? Do we have one over here and Jest for latency?
I don't know. This looked like a graph, and yes, we do. Actually, is it the same then? I don't know. It's not easy to read this thing.
Yeah.
But what is SV? C-span.
If we go back to what were we trying to actually capture there? So we have our QA selector here, which is Prometheus graph widgets. But I see like our throughput. This is what we were capturing in Karma. Our throughput.
This is Karma.
Right. But you're saying we were selecting this SVG that was under throughput. And so that is
no,
under,
maybe that was a mistake because the selector is picking the first SVG, the original selector.
Right.
Right.
And so it looks like maybe this test isn't doing what we think it's doing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, right?
So then, yeah, so then I would suggest, pun intended, we need to try to decipher what's the intention here.
Well, if we were to trust the description of the IT, of the test cases, it tries first to find the graph, assert that this is visible, that is expanded. So the style display is not hidden and it has a width, so it's there, right? Positive assertment. Then it clicks on the toggle and you expect it to disappear, right?
Yeah.
And then somehow it's resetting the width to expand it, probably for the test afterwards because Karma is not running isolation.
Okay.
It clicks again and they expect the width to be big. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is doing some sort of resizing thing though there. Like, I don't know. Okay. So if we just ignore this chart stuff, does it work? If we ingest, because I see that we have an expect on like prom group that it.
This one, yes. This line, it works, yes.
So that works in Jest when we're not worried about this chart stuff.
Yeah, and it finds a chart somewhere because there are other charts in the page, and they are all hidden actually, and so it fails to greater than 0 because it's not the chart that the test is intended to look at.
Okay.
I'll try to run it and see if we can pick up this SVG and if it look like if the test is going to pass now. So at least we know that that's the piece that we are looking at. Yes, so they are passing.
Okay.
Yeah, but this SVG is not a graph, right? This is the icon.
Okay.
So why when the thing was position relative SVG here, let me comment and say dot.
Well, what we could do is, yeah, we could add the position relative
After the
after
data
our data test ID selector thing. Yeah.
best selector I ever written. You see actually the first line goes in, it fails at the second, the Jest one, as I was saying. No, we're not finding it like that. So this is the HTML. This is the graph, right? The first position relative here.
So previously, if you go back to our karma test, I want to understand something else. We were picking just position relative of prom group.
Yeah, correct.
Can you show me what Prometheus graph group, where that class is set?
Yeah.
That's here.
Completely somewhere else.
Is it anywhere else, you think?
It's here. It's in the same file. It's printed 2 times because there is a way where like this collapsing attribute is not there.
Okay, but it's not in the main dashboard component. It's just here, right?
Yeah. Let's check. Group.
Okay. So we were looking for one of those groups. We were looking.
But see, this group is just basically a pass-through for the slots to.
Yep.
And so we go one back to dashboard, right?
Yep.
And there is view draggable. It's okay. And then graph group, it passes inside view draggable, and then there is this. And then there is dashboard panel, which is actually the owner of this information.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So if I restore this like this, I want to do some brutal thingy and copy paste the chart HTML and then print the whole thingy and just find it, right?
Yeah.
In Karma, if I run it 2 times, it should run, right? So at least we can find a selector that makes more sense. So if this is our chart, right? And if this chart is inside prom group, I'm sorry, I know this is not the most exciting stuff to deal with, but maybe we can learn stuff as well.
No, this is good. I kind of want to. I get nervous looking at large blocks of HTML.
Look at this. It is under throughput.
I kind of wonder if we need to just iteratively make sure, like, for each one of those lines, are we picking the right thing that we think it's doing? Is that under throughput or is throughput? See, it's hard because it's not even like formatted.
Yeah, I know. See, JS draggable panel, blah, 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 blah. Graph title, correct. And now the graph is printed.
Here's the thing, is I don't see a Prometheus graph group thing here. Oh, there it is on the first log, Prometheus graph group.
So I think that this SVG is not the graph.
Maybe
this
it's
is
not. Let's see what
this is view draggable thingy, because then afterward it says no data to display.
I guess so. We could try running it and seeing it, but or we could like
no, you need a
we could save that
Kubernetes
as a
cluster
file and like open it in your browser to see what it looks like. But it does not seem like a graph because it does not seem like a whole lot of data. So I understand that this might not be a graph. Maybe it is.
But, you know, if you look at the source, right? If it's a graph, there can't be empty chart, which is this.
Right. But if we also go back, there's going to be some issues that I think something stood out to me when we were looking at graph group. If you go back
Here or in the test?
in the code, graph group.view.
Yes.
No, it wasn't here. Maybe it's in dashboard panel.
Yeah.
There's a place where we're setting the width, and I saw it. I don't see it anymore. Can you do like maybe a search for width or maybe
Refresh title tooltip?
Maybe it's in dashboard.view or. Oh wait! Oh wait! Go back. Oh yes, sorry. No, I did see it in the HTML. If you go back to, I might just be seeing things. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep lately.
Here?
Here, it was here. So check this out.
This?
See what we're setting. Okay, it looks like we do have a width there. I saw this height. I thought maybe we were setting the width outside of this specific component. And in a Karma test, Karma runs in a browser. So it's going to work like if my parent width is different, like all of that is going to be adjusted when I do like an assertion on a width. But in JSDOM, we just can't, we could try to mock all that, but it's not there.
This doesn't exist in Jest. In our DOM in Jest, this doesn't exist.
But this root is different. You see here, we're printing out Prometheus panel. Oh, but here, where's our Prometheus graph group? Oh, there it is, throughput. Okay.
And here, you see here, there is like the VIF that is not printing stuff.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what? You know why? Because it looks like we're using view draggable. We're using some sort of third-party library. It could have to do with how tests are mocked, or time is mocked out. Like they could be inserting some of these on a timeout or something.
You want to run old timers?
A lot of me feels like I don't want to migrate this spec to Jest. Or at least it needs to have a real, it's an integration spec. And we're gonna have in our very unit testy environment in Jest, it might be more pain to maintain than it's worth.
Can I do a step more? Is this the test actually testing something real? I think no.
I would. This is a good, search through the Git blame and ping somebody about it. But I would, honestly, if I was doing this and I saw something resize and I saw, okay, yeah, we're using something like view draggable, I think it's a good call to let's move it to, because we have a process for these browser
integration folder, right?
ones. I think we have an integration folder and we have it, I think we call it it has to end in browser spec. We leave it in Karma, we can name it browser spec. Something.
Well, let's move it. So,
what'd you say?
Well, let's move it. I think, and maybe we can make a ping on the MR and ask the author for authors for clarification. Does everybody agree that this is a good candidate for integration test and leave it there? Awkward silence.
I will. I take that silence as
a yes.
Strong confirmation.
Yeah, that's yes for me.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for wrestling with it.
So this is the original test. Let's just running out of being sure. Yeah, I had a feeling that this will be a good candidate. I thought the consensus of the group was important here.
Yeah, no, that's good. But it was also good wrestling. I think we get better when we wrestle with these kind of things. Some really exciting news. I have an MR open that takes steps forward to setting up a front-end integration test environment in Jest. So we'll actually have two Jest configs. We'll have a unit test config and an integration config. So it's foreseeable that even for these integration tests, eventually we could go all Jest.
And that will be better because of the isolation. So what is the folder here?
If you do a search for browser_spec, you'll see a pattern.
This one. Utils.
Let's maybe do that one. Yeah, there's another one too, I think. Or was that the only one? Oh yeah, like
this.
Another one.
This
ends. It could. I think it can be anywhere, just as long as it ends in _browser_spec is.
Okay, so we are renaming basically this.
Yeah.
To browser spec.
There you go. Consider
Well,
it
that's the simplest MR ever.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And well, maybe we should pick something else.
Yeah, let's do it.
Should I drive?
Well, does anyone have any? Does anyone have any other Jestodus issues or even test-related issues that they're interested in bringing up?
We can go by list, otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, something happened. This looks different.
Yeah, this is new, and it's not as easy to scan as before.
Yeah.
Before you had the icon of whoever did it here, so you will go this one. Now it's.
I see that. Okay. Okay.
So this is it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, let's avoid with that.
JavaScript lib is assigned to you.
We should probably finish that one.
Okay. What is missing?
Has anyone?
Do you have a branch open for it?
I have a branch for it. So I would love it if we could finish it. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can screen share. It's easier. It's less.
I could do that. I haven't touched it in a long time. So let's see what happens. Let me figure out a way to.
While you open the file, I'm just gonna go with the standard disclaimer. Me and Paul talk a lot, so please talk above us, interrupt us. Otherwise, we just go on.
Yeah, please.
It's good watching you guys do it.
I am gonna figure out how to do this. Am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
Do you see
Google.
my email or Google?
Google.
Okay, good. Let me go to MRs that I've authored. Migrating.
Leap deer.
Yeah. All right. All right. Uh-oh. Oh no! I just want the branch. Oh, come on.
There is on the right. Not really. No.
Not. I wish it was.
That's the issue, right? Yeah.
Or it's like a reference for like hopping and comments. Look how many commits behind it is. This is embarrassing. Okay.
Whoa.
It might be worth just restarting all of it. But let's see if it'll rebase. Oh yeah, and it has merge conflicts. We're gonna just restart it.
Yeah, so we can showcase Jestodus and stuff. The code mode.
That's a good idea. So I'm gonna start on master.
It's not like you're up to date on master either.
No. I think people have already migrated some parts of it too, so there might not be any bit left. Okay. So let's go to the Karma file, spec, JavaScript's lib. All right, we already have a lovely browser spec here. Oh yeah, here's a comment that I think we've been adding to the top of these browser specs.
I'll add it to the other one as well.
Okay, so the goal is off the top of my head, I know there's going to be some things that are probably going to need to go here. But I think there's going to be a lot that doesn't need to. But we're going to see some lovely specs, like some that are using this Jasmine style. This has context. You see, we don't even have arrow functions kind of going on. So we'll migrate these, except the browser spec. So the way that I've started following this pattern from Lucas, IP, where he copies the directory that we're going to move things over to front end, and then but doesn't merge it yet. He just does copies it over to a new directory, and that seems to be pretty good. So over here in front end, we have our new lib.
So anytime you feel that the MR is too big, you can just stop there, commit, create MR, and move on, right?
Yeah,
well.
Yeah. I think it helps keep it a little organized of what's to do and what's not to do. Okay, rather than manually updating all this, there's a really cool Jestodus code mod. Let me pull something from there. So I just CD'd to that directory. I don't think I'm on master. Oh, hang on. So I'm not in my GitLab directory anymore. I'm in the Jestodus code mod. And if you look at the README, there's instructions for how to run this. It's important that you run it from the code mod directory so that it uses this node modules, not the node modules of GitLab, because there'll be conflicts there. And then these are the arguments you pass to it. You got to pass parser Babylon, and you pass in this local file, which is the transformer. And then the path to the directory that you're going to shift. So or file, yeah. So I'm going to copy this, and we're doing, I have it under EE. Spec front end lib utils new. All right. Okay. So a handful were unmodified, which is all right. Probably mock data. Oh, and here's another lovely thing that I'm happy to this came across. I ran this. You see some changes, like we're now using arrow functions, but we're still using the this context thing, which is going to blow up if we try to run this in Jest. That's because in our code mod,
oh no, how are you gonna exit that?
What'd you say?
No, I'm joking. How are you gonna exit that terminal
Oh,
now?
yeah. I sometimes I do really weird things, like I'll edit a file in Vim inside of VS Code, and I totally forget like that I'm inside of VS Code for a long time. I'll just like start opening up more Vim tabs and stuff, and they're like, oh wait, I should just do this in VS Code. But we have this has to be commented out. Like it'd be nice, it's possible if we can update our transformer to accept like a parameter or something, but we actually have to comment this out to transform to this stuff, because it blows up unless it sees this. We're using a third-party library, so it's a little flaky, but it's really nice when it automatically works. So I just uncomment this out, and then I'm going to rerun it. You see how it blew up on some of the tests, but on the one that it was supposed to work, it worked. So probably something smart we could do there, or maybe an upstream contribution, but right now.
Try catch?
Yeah.
Silent catch.
That's a good idea. But the problem with, I think, the way we're doing this and this is probably a problem with the way I've organized it. You see, when you do code shift, you only pass one transformer. So it's almost expected that, like, rather than having one file that combines everything, you do this from like the bash level of like, of doing multiple passes through a number of files and stuff. So I think there's some optimizations to be made here. And if you have any cool ideas, check it out. It's pretty easy to contribute to. It's in our front end playground project. But anyways, now we're here. Let's run this and see what happens. Oh, I'm not inside. I'm not inside that anymore. Okay. Oh gosh.
It's like every pairing session, that's the thing.
We must like update our dependencies. Well, I guess we do. We have our renovate bot. I was like, we must update dependencies because it's like every time I check out a branch, I need to run yarn, which makes sense. But it's at the same time, it's like, how many dependencies are we adding and bumping every day?
So many dependencies.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So we are getting something blowing up. Oh, yes. I remember this. Yeah. This is a good one, I think. So yeah. So when it is in the DOM, and when it is not in the DOM, we expect it to be null, but it is not clearing itself out. So let's check that out.
Is it set fixture doing an append?
Ooh, maybe. Let's, oh, I wonder what happens if we just run just this one. Maybe that is it. Oh, man. Well, is it? Let's double check. If I run console log document, or let me just run it. Let me log something from here inside init. We have lib utils csrf init. Yeah. Here I'm inside of csrf. All right, let's see what happens. Well, that's not what I really wanted to see.
Element? Yeah. Element is in.
Well, okay. We're close. Well, the inner HTML, I guess, isn't going to be anything. Maybe I just want to do document. What's my document look like? Can I do document inner HTML?
Body?
Body. These meta tags actually should be in the head.
Head.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm obviously not doing something right. But we get attribute content. Okay, so what's happening though is we're still finding this. We have names, CSRF token. We're still finding it. And I think you're right. I think when we do set fixtures, I don't think it's cleaning up after itself.
Well, we should update set fixture to at least get a property like cleanup.
It should though. We do have a set HTML fixtures which does this. I think these are aliases for each other. Certainly, I'm not saying something right. Set HTML. Maybe it's not fixtured. Maybe it's just fixed. Yeah. Over in helpers, fixtures. So I'm going to just import this because when we do set, we're supposed to be automatically doing this reset hook for it. But I wonder if it is problematic that we're doing this meta tag, which really belongs in the head versus the body.
But how's the be for each order? Is that correct? The reset hook, the reset is running like after each, right?
Yeah, it should be. And it's supposed to reset everything. Let's, instead of doing the set fixtures, I'm going to try to use this one. There shouldn't be any difference, but I'm not entirely sure. I think I just called it fixture. I think it is just fixture. Yes, there is no difference here. If I do token L, can I do parent node inner HTML? Does that work like that? I'm not gonna like it. Oh yes, that's what I was hoping to do. Okay. I'm gonna get its parent again. Certainly there's two parents here. All right. Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not cleaning up after itself at all, right? Every time you run the test, it's adding a new one.
You are right.
Yeah.
It certainly
It
looks
should be the problem. The problem should be with the preset fixture, right?
It looks like it. Look at this.
Wow, it's appending each time.
Yeah,
But-
it adds a new head. Why do we have two heads?
Not a human.
Clearly.
But
Okay.
But it's maybe because we are doing body outer HTML,
Yep.
and then we start with add.
Yep. Yeah. Do you think this kind of thing would be helpful? Do you think this kind of thing is what we should be doing? But we have two heads. I don't like having two heads. That's,
No, and actually even more.
do we have more heads? No, we
Yeah.
have, it's still just
Look.
two heads, but we keep, right? Oh, no, you're right. What? That doesn't
So
make
what
any
are-
sense. Okay, no, I think it does. Wait, sorry. I think that we've identified that there's an issue with maybe JS DOM. When I just do something like, where do we do this? I bet JS DOM, because technically when I do set HTML fixture, I'm trying to set, here's our, why am I doing outer HTML? Should I do inner HTML?
Because in the fixture, maybe you should pass add. No, it doesn't really make sense.
I think, yeah. I think the solution is going to be, rather than doing set HTML fixture, which is only going to work, I think, for the body, probably for JS DOM, we could try to massage it, but then we're going to have to be concerned about all the other uses of this function. I think rather than using set HTML fixture, I'm just going to manually write to document head and then clean it up just in the spec. I might be able to do, maybe we could do a cool helper function like set head or HTML head fixture. What do you think of that?
So the thing is, when you do document body outer HTML, like you are replacing the body itself, right?
I think you're right.
And if you don't pass body, I think you're having like a mistaken HTML, and
Yeah,
then every implementation is trying to fix it up, right?
Yeah, we never do that either. So I think you're right there as well. Oh, look.
Whoops. All fixed.
Whoa.
Oh, that worked.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think we wanted it to be out or HTML at all. Let's just try a random one like this one that's doing set HTML fixture too. That was a good catch.
I mean, if we want to be sure, we could say if the thing starts with body, right? Then do outer HTML.
But we don't. I am 90% certain we don't have body at all in our spec folders. Yeah. So.
Yeah, not in JS file. Yeah.
This was a good call.
Cool.
Do you think we need to do this head in the reset as well?
So now we are putting this meta thing inside the body, and I think for the test purpose, it's fine. It's just a string for the test purpose, especially in Jest, right?
Yep. Yep. I think it's fine. We could put it in the head. And I think I'm going to leave this head resetting here because this is going to do no damage, and at least it opens up us fixing that up if we needed to. But cool. It looks like this is done, right? Did I leave anything behind? I might have left something behind, but
You have the Jest on the wrong file now running.
oh right. Yeah, I think it's good. I'll go ahead and run it, but that's good to know. And then I'll go ahead and move it too. We can remove the other one and update our path. Cool. Works for me. So let's do that. And then let's remove spec JavaScripts, lib utils.
Cool. One. Good.
And then, yeah, we got one.
Let's hope that the pipeline doesn't fail horribly because of that outer HTML change.
Am I doing this bash thing right?
No idea. But why are you doing that with the curly brackets?
Let's you move. Oh, it's in front end. It's because I need to move it from utils new to yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Ah, that's a shortcut for moving. Just
Yeah,
swapping that folder. Cool.
It basically expands it out into, I think it's bash level. It'll expand it out to 2 arguments of
Wow.
Today I learned.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. All right, we don't need mock data. We don't need at all because that's already been moved over. Oh, spy dependency. Okay, this is getting navigation utility. Oh yeah, this is a great one to do. Let me go ahead and commit this. Move CRSF token spec. Yes. So fixed. Set HTML pictures. Okay. Dhiraj, have you migrated any spy on dependency thing before?
Last time I did, you helped me with that. So
Oh, okay. No, I wasn't sure if if you guys are probably already super familiar with this, but for anyone that's potentially not here but is watching,
Watching at home.
Yeah, spy on dependency does something really helpful, but it's also kind of weird how it works. It looks for the import name. You pass in the default export of a module, and it creates a mock based on the import name. So the way to move this over to Jest is really easy. It would be amazing to have this kind of automated and a code shift thing. Is find this import name URL utility and mock that. So utility.
yeah, I think I've seen it in many places. I think mocking out jQuery functions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I had written before we started doing JS code shift for some of this automatic migration stuff. I had written like a utility to automatically, parse through using Babel, the spy on dependency, and make all of this. But JS code shift has a lot more benefits to the previous solution we have. But I should be able to now just delete these. The only thing is I need to now import it because we are I think it's a named import. We are asserting on it. All right. Here we go.
If you need by any chance to retain the utility behavior, in that case you don't use mock and you spy on them one by one.
That's a good thing, because there's other utilities here as well. So when I do mock, it's going to mock every single utility, which is a good point, that might not be actually what we want to do. And that can get really gnarly to debug when there's like transitive nested modules depending on other utilities that we don't want mocked. Do you think I should do that here?
No.
Okay.
I think simplicity is the first thing, right?
Yep. Sounds
Keep
good.
it simple.
So this works. Let's do our cool bash scripting. Utils. I wish that I could click on my terminal.
Okay. Oof. Front end.
Well, I'm removing the old.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. We got 4 changes there. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Migrate, navigation, utility, spec, Jest. I'll probably squash these later. Sticky. Which one do you think would be more interesting? We have 1 minute left. I wonder if any of these will just work. Let's try it out.
That document body in HTML look like a good candidate for set fixture. Actually.
Yeah, that might be all we need. This has significantly less specs than when I first started. So I'm glad. It sounds like we've already migrated some of these. Yeah, that one's not working. It might be because of the set fixture thing, because I don't see us, we're not cleaning that up at all. I'm really curious now to see if that'll help.
Do you need to import it, or it's isn't it in a global?
It is in a global, so I probably don't need to import it. You're right. That's a weird way for Prettier to interpret that. Okay, that's going to be its own problem. Let's see if this one works out of the box. Oh man, what's this? Oh man, something tells me it's not going to work out of the box.
No, especially with those mock calls.
Yeah, usually they require. Well, maybe. Well,
no.
Oh, do we have a real timers? Yeah. Time we use fake timers by default, so sometimes our migration tool doesn't know that, and so it just starts putting timers in, or starts faking it out when it thinks that it needs to. But we already do that by default. Let's see if this one works. But for the sake of time, we can also.
I mean, this is the pull spec, so probably timers need to actually are part of the thing.
Okay. Well, it looks like
all failed.
Have failed, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Not probably reset or undefined.
Yeah. Anytime there's access to these calls.
Set immediate what?
Callbacks. Yeah. This is our migration spec doesn't migrate some of the mock API correctly.
Yeah, up there you have and call fake a little bit up.
Oh, yep.
There you go.
Oh yeah, you're right. When it doesn't know if we're doing like a Jest spy on, it really kind of freaks out. So, but it looks like this might just be a matter of updating this API.
This mock service call should be just to replace it where it's used with promise resolved, mock return resolved value, and mock rejected value, I guess.
I think you're right.
this is not the first time that I migrate a pattern like this. So
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, this probably should be cleaned up. Well, it's time though. Thanks for hopping on and checking out a couple of Jestodus problems. I'm gonna try to spend 5 minutes getting these to pass, and then I'll ping you all into MR. But yeah, appreciate everyone taking the time to sync up on some of these Jestodus stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you all have a great rest of the day and
You too.
evening. See you.
Bye.
Thank